What would you do if someone stole $20,000 from you, trashed your home, and then skipped the country to avoid paying you back? Most people would just call it a loss. But not me. I decided to make sure that no matter where she went, what job she applied for, or even who she dated, the first thing people would see was the truth about who she really was. I've lived in New York City my whole life, and if there's one thing I know, it's that space here is gold. I owned a small but beautiful apartment in Manhattan. It wasn't just four walls to me. It was a slice of the city's heartbeat. But when my mom's health started declining, everything shifted. She was 87, frail, and needed round-the-clock care. I couldn't bear the thought of her being alone, so I made the choice. I'd move out to the house I'd bought for her and take care of her full-time. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make, but financially it meant I needed the apartment to work for me. The plan was simple: rent it out, fully furnished, to someone responsible. That rental income would become my main source of income while I focused on being there for my mother. I took my time choosing a tenant. I wasn't just looking for someone who could pay the rent. I wanted someone who would treat my apartment like a home, not a hotel. Then she came along. A middle-aged woman from Queensland, Australia. Let's call her Jane. She spoke with that warm, confident accent, and at first, she seemed like the perfect choice. She told me she had owned and lived in her own home for 30 years, so she didn't have landlord references. That sounded reasonable enough. She was employed, passed the financial requirements with ease, and handed me glowing letters of reference, the kind of testimonials you'd expect from a trustworthy person. She even talked about her love for bridge clubs and her appreciation for quiet spaces. And I thought, yes, she's going to take good care of the place. Looking back now, I realize how naive that optimism was. The first few months went smoothly. Rent came in on time, and she even sent me a few updates about how she was enjoying the city. It was reassuring. Maybe I'd lucked out. But around month 7, everything changed. The rent didn't arrive. I told myself it was probably just a bank delay. I sent her a friendly message. No reply. Called her. Nothing. Days went by. Then weeks. That's when the pit in my stomach started forming. Finally, I went to the apartment. The lock still worked, but the moment I opened the door, my heart sank. The place felt abandoned. Dust in the air, curtains drawn. And then I saw the damage. The microwave door hung open. Its screen cracked like someone had slammed it shut in anger. My once pristine sofas were covered in deep, greasy stains. And the smell, it was as if no one had cleaned for months. My stomach churned. Taped to the door was the official notice from the marshal announcing eviction proceedings. That's when I realized she had stopped paying rent, ignored my messages, skipped her court dates, and then slipped out of the country like a thief in the night, back to Australia, thousands of miles away with no intention of paying a cent. I had taken her to housing court and I had won. I had even taken her to small claims court for the damages and won again. The judgment was in my favor, $16,000 in unpaid rent, over $7,000 in damages. But those papers meant nothing if I couldn't enforce them. And to enforce them in Australia, I'd have to domesticate the judgment, hire a lawyer over there, and spend more money than I'd ever recover. That's when the anger truly set in. It wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about the arrogance, the audacity of thinking she could waltz into my home, trash it, steal from me, and then just disappear without consequences. No, she wasn't going to get away with it. One night I couldn't sleep. I sat at my desk scrolling through her application forms, her references, her work details. Then I saw it, her name. Not just any name. A name so unusual you could Google it and get only her. That's when it hit me. If her name was that unique, what if I owned it online? I checked. The domain, herfullname.com, was available. $10 later, it was mine. That was the moment the real revenge began. I wasn't going to stoop to lies or slander. No, I was going to tell the truth. Every provable, documented fact. I uploaded her photo, a scanned copy of the court judgment, photos of the trash department, the broken microwave, the stained couches, even the eviction notice on the door. I added where she worked, the bridge club she frequented in Queensland. Everything was factual, public record, or my own property.
No exagerasten. No insults.
Just the cold, undeniable truth. Then I studied SEO, search engine optimization, and made sure that when anyone typed her name into Google, this site would be the first thing they saw. Job interview, they'd see it. Apartment application, they'd see it. First date, oh, they'd see it. It didn't take long. My site stats showed visitors from her employer's IP address. Then emails started trickling in, people who had seen her at conferences, people who recognized her from the bridge club. Even some of the people who had written her reference letters reached out after I showed them the truth. The satisfaction was unreal. For the first time since she skipped town, I felt the balance tip in my favor. It's been nearly 3 years now. I still own the domain. The site still ranks #1. Every month it still gets visitors. And I know that this woman has paid for what she did 100 times over. She cost me $20,000 in unpaid rent and damages. But in return, she's lost jobs, apartments, and probably relationships. All because the truth about her is impossible to hide. Some might say I went too far. But I say this. If you live your life cheating and stealing from others, you don't get to decide when your reputation stops following you. Revenge doesn't always come in the form of a dramatic confrontation. Sometimes it's a slow burn, a quiet, methodical justice that ensures the person who wronged you never truly escapes the shadow of what they did. And every time I see that my site has a new visitor, I smile. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or pulled off yourself? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove. Sometimes karma just needs a little push.